What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but we are back for yet another episode of The Cutting Board. Now, before I introduce everybody, I think it's worth noting war never changes. I had to get that line in. And actually, things are changing on the show because we have a new face to the show. Connor, why don't you say what's up?
Hello, I'm Connor. I'm new here. I'm happy to be here for this episode.
And of course, we are joined by Aiden today, a familiar face to the show. Oh, I thought you were going for a
Hello.
dab. I thought you were going for a sick dab. You look like... Oh, there it is. Okay, we're
Right.
starting off
You
with the...
happy?
Oh, you know what? We have to give
I
the
brought
people what
back
they
the
want.
I brought back like the mid 2020s now, or no, I mean mid 2010s.
It
Like
all
2018, I think. 2017, 2018 is the dab.
it all comes full circle. We're right back on the trends that are current and hard hitting today. And I guess speaking of trends that are hard hitting today, Fallout has been the name of the game in the gaming world. Of course, the show took off on Amazon Prime, the games are seeing a resurgence, and there was a rumor recently, and I want to share it with you guys, that Xbox is looking to get the next Fallout game out sooner rather than later. There's been a whole other development in the world of Xbox, but that's not what we're here to discuss today. But I want to get your thoughts on what this next Fallout game could possibly be. So I'm going to pass it off first here since he's new to the show. Connor, when and where do you think this next game takes place? We're going to hold you to this 1000% because you obviously know.
I haven't thought about when a lot. I thought about where. I think the time frame. I know that I read somewhere that they said the producers said that the show won't affect anything of the games. Now I don't know if that's true, but if that were to be true, I'm thinking that the game would probably take place after the show. um, or like way before. So I'm thinking it's probably going to take place after all the games and after the show. I don't know, give it 10, 20 years. And I know I really want it to take place in the Pacific Northwest. Like give me like Seattle or something. We've gotten, a lot of California. We've got Las Vegas. We've gotten kind of the East Coast with Austin, the Commonwealth. And then Fallout 76, it's in Appalachia, but I'd like a mainline game in the mountains as well. Uh, and I know some people might consider 76 a mainline game, but I think it's kind of experimental. So I'd like a story narrative driven single player Fallout in the Pacific Northwest with like Seattle maybe as a central location, Portland or something like that. So something along those lines.
All right, Aiden, where do you think we're going next?
First off, I'm gonna address that Fallout 76. It is what Fallout 4 was going to be, so just remember that. Is that originally Fallout 4 was supposed to be the multiplayer one?
Really?
Yep,
The more
that
you
was one thing
know.
that they said a lot. Like after Fallout 76 released, is basically they expect they were going to experiment with it in Fallout 4 and have co-op, but then they decided to scrap that, release Fallout 4, and then they made 76.
Not a bad thing looking back on it, especially the way 76 launched. We'll take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean Fallout 4 would have been disastrous if
One can
they
argue.
continued with that. I found location, for me at least, I found like this guy who basically like posted what I think is like one of the most perfect recipes for the game.
Oh,
And
you
I brought
told me
this up to
about
you
this.
before
Yep.
on a hot topic. But basically he just said, hey, go down south, go to Tennessee, go to the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid, and like have that be the central area for the boss, and have it be like a ghoul just dressed up in a mask that just controls the entire area. Be perfect.
Now, I have a list of places I would like the game to take place, but real quick, you touched on that idea too. You said something about Graceland the last time we talked about it. I think that would be a perfect, like, Fallout thing to implement in the world, because it's always about that funny, dark humor. I think they can get away with, like, a ghoul Elvis, like, living in Graceland.
Oh hell yeah, they could. I mean, the guy's thing, I have it pulled up right now, and what was it? He said that he wanted to do the Athenian LARPers from Nashville, the Bass Pro Pharaoh, the Neo Cherokee Nation, Chicago chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel, and where's the Graceland part? The Kings of Graceland as another faction in the game.
That sounds perfect. I like to think with Fallout games they want to give each part of the country their own little shine here, but I always said Texas makes a great place for a Fallout game. I think we talked about how most of the vaults are in Texas. I could be wrong there.
Yeah, on the map, it from the show, like a ton were in Texas.
It also just popped in my mind. With the fact that multiple vaults are in Texas, that could possibly be the next 76 type game where they're like Vault Warfare. I'm writing it for them. That's what I'm doing right now. We gotta keep this on lockdown. But another place, and this is the place I love, I want this to happen. New Orleans. Give me Fallout New Orleans, the Bayou, give me everything that has to do with that location. The only reason why I bring it up, I think about Red Dead Redemption 2. You go into St. Denis, St. Denis, whatever you want to call it, and you interact in the swamplands with all these big gators. There was that albino gator, the really massive one you had to kill. And I'm just thinking to myself, that makes a great Fallout boss, enemy type, whatever have you. And I also think about the people of Louisiana, the backcountry, the things that are said, like what goes on there. It's Fallout. That or Far Cry. I know you're a big Far Cry guy, Aiden, so maybe that works in.
See, I definitely agree with you on the New Orleans thing. And if they were to go Nashville, they could easily do like a New Orleans DLC, go down south a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, really, I'm looking at the map now. And if they were to do New Orleans, there's 2 vaults that are like right near each other in New Orleans. They could easily go off of that. And like you said, the whole like bayou thing, do riverboating. I mean, come on, fan boating, bring us back some gator claws. There you go. People would lose their minds over that.
Gator Claw, Death Claw, kind of, we're in that realm.
Do you have the map of the vault still pulled up?
Yeah, got it right here.
Are there any in Hawaii?
Oh, dang it.
It doesn't show Hawaii on the map. It also doesn't show Alaska either.
Because I think a lot of, at least for me, when I'm thinking about the Fallout games, a lot of people think of the continent, like in the states, and obviously Hawaii is a state, but for some reason it just didn't come to mind because it's off to the side. I think that'd be cool because it could be a nice change of scenery, but on top of that, maybe each of the individual islands can have its own individual faction. And if not Hawaii, maybe something like Cuba or something. Just something that's in the States, but you wouldn't think immediately when thinking like a U.S. territory or Hawaii. That'd be neat, I think, because I think a lot of the Fallout games share kind of similar scenery, aside from maybe like New Vegas but I think that like a tropical setting might be nice.
That was one of the ones on my list. Everyone's
Oh, really?
somehow, some way, whenever we do these shows, the guest with me somehow gets a look at my list here or my notes, and they always just say it before I get to it. Real quick, before one of you two say it, I'm gonna be biased. Dang it! I'm gonna be biased. New York, give me New York. I think it's just there. The people of New York, wild people. You get involved with the sewers, the rats. They can get gigantic. I mean, come on. Fallout New York. I think they want to do it.
That would be a really cool enemy type to have giant rats.
They can do the Ninja Turtles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought
They could.
There was an Easter... I could be confusing this mightily, but there was an Easter egg of the Ninja Turtles or something within the sewers of Bethesda games. I think it was Skyrim. I could be wrong, but yeah, I need that in my life.
You could probably have New York City just be the whole map. and even if you didn't do the whole city, you could just have it. I don't know what the individual like sections are called, like Brooklyn or Queens. Just do a couple of those. That would be neat in and of itself.
See, I would love it for the amount of buildings that you could go through, but I
Oh
also feel like
yeah,
it would be hell development wise because of that. Like, I feel like they would avoid that just solely because making the interior of so many buildings would be such a pain in the ass.
I would kind of argue that only for the fact Bethesda games are normally like all spread out across like a thin piece of land, and it's more going like straight ahead. Going vertical, and I think this is also a thing with Pokemon Legends ZA, going vertical, I don't know, it's a confined space, grant you every single building you're probably not going to go into. They can get the main ones done, Empire State Building, Madison Square Garden, stuff like that, Times Square, whatever have you. But going vertical in a sense, you're kind of cutting down the map size, but at the same time, no pun intended, it's going up. And I had more, speaking on Connor's point here, going off the mainland, Britain. Fallout London was a mod, and it's out there. The idea is out in the world. I think going outside the United States here for the next game is a very real possibility here, especially given for the fact we've done most of the United States in a vacuum, and people are going to get tired of that eventually. But going to Britain, again, Fallout London, rest in peace the mod, but, it's there. Also, Fallout Miami was a mod too, so maybe they go to Florida. Disney World, how about that? That would be amazing.
you definitely
I,
have
I,
some really cool evil faction in charge of Disney World or something like that.
Oh, the
they
Disney
could.
adults. All the Disney adults
Yeah.
have made a
Please.
faction.
Please give me an opportunity just to kill Mickey. I just want a ghoul like dressed up in a Mickey.
Public domain.
yeah.
We talked about this on Hot Topic. He's in public domain. Bethesda,
He
if
is.
you're gonna do it, just do it.
See, my only
And he
concern
could,
is that like I don't think there's any vaults in Florida. Like specifically like on the map that I still pulled up, like you can't see Florida, so like you can't tell if there are any marked. But it doesn't look like it except for like on the border of the top of Florida.
A DLC like Nuka World could be their Disney World type deal down there,
Yeah.
maybe.
I like straying away from locations for a minute. I was thinking I'd like to see like more what's the word? Like variety and character customization in the sense that aside from New Vegas, and I haven't played Fallout 2, so I'm not sure about Fallout 2, but most of the protagonists are vault dwellers. I'd like to have another game where you don't have to be a vault dweller. And I was kind of, toying around with this idea in my head with my friends, but you know, give players the option to not be a person. There's people, I mean, there's humans, there's feral ghouls, and there's super mutants. Let players pick and give them, I guess, certain attributes for each of the different, you know, I'll call them classes. Like maybe super mutants are slower, but they can carry a lot more, or ghouls don't have to, eat or drink, but they have to consume more rads or something. And then people, they have to eat and drink, but maybe they're faster. I don't know. I just like to see that idea play around a bit.
See, I'd like to like mess around with that idea that they already did with the show, where like if you did play a ghoul, make it so you have to consume something so that you can't, so that you don't turn feral.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that idea if you start off as a ghoul, like someone who's turning into a ghoul, and then learning how to like not become feral and everything, and having to fight with that.
There's a
Like,
feral meter.
Like that'd be a great like way to like change it up and not have you just be a vault dweller.
Yeah. I think that'd be really fun. That'd be really cool.
Call me crazy, but Bethesda already kind of laid out the breadcrumb trail here. I look at Skyrim at all the different races you can be in that game, and then I look at Fallout 76 to your point about consuming something. There's a food meter, there's a water meter. It's more or less if they want to take the time to just be like, hey, for this game, you can be whatever you want. And the show kind of akins itself to that in a way, because we do have a Vault Dweller, we have a Ghoul, we have Brotherhood of Steel, Super Mutants were in the show. Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't watched it. But at the same time, you can still get to that. You can still have a central story like a GTA 5 where all those characters come together, whether you pick them or not, and yeah, just go off the rails. Especially, let's hold these games to a higher standard here. We're on next-gen consoles by the time this game comes out. Xbox 720, PS7 might come out, I don't know. But this game essentially should be leaps and bounds better than anything we've gotten from Bethesda. Pending Elder Scrolls 6, because we don't know what that game looks like. But for the most part, I think this is entirely possible.
I mean, it would be possible. I don't trust Bethesda to do it, but it's possible. I don't trust them to not make a game that isn't like exploding when you take it out of the box. So
You can hear the console heating up as soon as you open the plastic on the game.
That's like GTA 6. Those PS4s, man, get rid of them. That GTA 6 is coming. Don't hold on to your console.
Probably never even going to be able to run on it.
Now, I want to ask you guys real quick. The technicality here. Bethesda wants to get the next Fallout game out sooner rather than later. Now here's the technicality. We're talking about Fallout 5, the next numerical entry to the game, to the series. Does it technically have to be that? Does the next Fallout game have to be Fallout 5? Could it be a remaster of New Vegas or 3? Do you think that's more likely?
I mean, I think it's more likely to have a spinoff, but
I think that people might be unhappy with a remaster, especially if it's not done right, given the recent next-gen update, which was kind of a bust for them. I've been hearing people having a lot of problems. So if they put out a remaster and, it's not done perfectly, I think that people are going to be pretty upset. So I'd just play it safe and go for... I mean, they could try a remaster, but I think that people will definitely be happier with just Fallout 5. Just a new game.
Now,
a remaster isn't necessary at this point. I mean, they've already released the updated versions of Fallout 4 or Fallout 3 and stuff. Why do you need to remake them? They run perfectly fine.
My only gripe here, and whatever is happening behind the scenes at Xbox, Bethesda, currently main objective, Elder Scrolls 6. I think that's a given. Obsidian is right there. They got, at least to my knowledge, nothing going on. Let's get them to do something here, because let's be honest, Fallout has been doing alright. People want that New Vegas too. People want them to revisit this world. And they know and love the property. They have experience. It's not like you're handing it off to, I don't know, name a studio, Toys for Bob. I don't know why that one came to mind. But, you're not just handing it off to a random person who's never done Fallout. They killed it with New Vegas. Obsidian and Bethesda are now under Xbox. What that means going forward, we don't know, pending all the news today. But, Obsidian, you're right there. Let's get them into the world of Fallout.
I'd take it.
Isn't Obsidian working? Yeah, they're working on.
I think they're on Outer Wild Worlds. Oh, they're on Grounded?
Yeah, they're on Grounded, and I think they're doing Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds 2, yeah.
Do we really need more work on Grounded, though? We're fine. We're fine. I love the game. I love it. I think it's great.
I mean, didn't it just release on other consoles?
Yeah, they ported it over.
They could hand it off to somebody. I don't think a remaster, like I said, is the way to go, but maybe a sequel or a remake might do good. I know Fallout 1 is pretty short. Maybe just remaking it in 4's engine might suffice till Fallout 5 comes out. But other than that, I don't know what the best thing to do would be.
Fallout Shelter 2.
I think that people are just not patient. I'm not patient, so I don't blame them. And that's not to say that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's not to say that, I'm putting blame on the consumers or anything. I think they typically take their time with stuff. Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, I'm patient too, but I don't. There's a real possibility of a lot of fans dying before the next game releases.
Don't even bring up if this is GTA 6.
Maybe speed it up by a decade.
Yeah, I mean, when did Skyrim come out? Like 2011, and it's been like 13 years since then, and we still haven't gotten a sequel. And it's like probably their fan favorite game. Like people love Skyrim.
Yeah.
I know people that they play Skyrim annually. I know people that probably play it like 2 times a year.
I know people who have it on every console.
I bought it 5 times. I bought it 5 times. I said it.
I mean, like, I'll see people on Reddit, and I'm looking at like this gameplay, and it's just something crazy that I've never seen before. And then I go to the post, it's like, oh yeah, this is Skyrim modded with 20 different mods. It's like, you guys know that there's other games, right? There's like a whole library of games out there. No, but Skyrim's got like a really dedicated fan base, and it's the same thing with Fallout. So I think that just the fact that they're taking so long with Skyrim doesn't look good for Fallout, especially since, did Fallout 4 come out in 2015 or 2016? Because we're nearing 10 years for that.
My gosh.
I think Fallout 4 was 2014, if I remember right.
Oh no.
2015.
I'm about to say, that's when I graduated high school. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. We're nearing 10 years nearly, which I just realized driving home the other day. I was like, has it been 10 years? Because it doesn't feel like it, but
we've been trapped in the vault for too long.
76 has been around only for 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Well, I think the general consensus here is we need a Fallout game. We need it reasonably in the next few years. Don't pull a GTA 6 where you kind of just push it out 10 years. I don't want to be old and gray. These guys don't want to be old and gray as well. But with all that being said, do we have any more final points here?
Phil Spencer, tell somebody to get on it now.
I think they got bigger fish to fry with the situations happening over there.
Okay, sorry. Fire Phil Spencer, bring someone else on, then put other teams on. There you go.
What is that quote? Survive, adapt, overcome, whatever. We got to do that here. Bring up the one guy's thing from the Flash TV show. You make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. Look at that. A CW reference on Game Sandwich? I never thought I'd see the day. I love it. But
I watched The Flash in so long.
I love that show.
I haven't watched it since like season 3. I'm sorry.
We can do a whole Flash talk. Don't worry. We can segment this all. But with all that being said, this is my favorite part of the show where we pass it off to you guys, the viewers. When and where do you want the next Fallout game to take place? More importantly, when do you want it to release? I assume within the next year or so. But that about does it here for this episode of The Cutting Board. I've been Kalo, joined by Connor and Aiden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.